My name is Nur Aina Sabiti Nasran, and I will proceed to the next subtopic, which is simulations. And this slide is going to be quite long, so I need you guys to focus on the slides. So, what is simulation? Simulations are instructional scenarios where the learner is placed in a world defined by the teacher. It is also called as instructional simulations. The teacher controls the parameter of this world and uses it to achieve the desired of instructional results. And it is aimed to provide an experience as close to the real thing as possible, and students can gather meaning from it. It takes a number of forms and may contain elements of a game, a role play, or an activity that act as a metaphor. Simulation is a form of experiential learning, which is a strategy that fits well with the principle of student-centered, like what we have learned in philosophy. And it is also a learning situation in a controlled and purposeful manner similar to the real situation. The goal is to conduct training in order to solve the problem. In the classroom, simulation is used in teaching and learning activities to enable students to practice their own acting activities in a controlled and organized situation. There are two types of simulation, there are two types of simulation methods that are normally used in learning activities in the classroom, which is social drama and role play. When students use a model of behavior to gain a better understanding of the behavior, they are doing a simulation. You guys get what I mean? No. For example, when students are assigned roles as buyer and sellers of some good and asked to strike deals to exchange the good, they are learning about market behavior by simulating a market. Or for another example, when students take on the roles of party delegates to a political convention and they run the model convention, they are learning about the election process by simulating a political convention. And it is like they bring the real situation into the classroom. Students often use simulation to make predictions about the social, economic, or natural world. Simulation is one of the effective way of learning because it helps teachers to achieve the objective of contention in terms of content, research, skills, and attitudes. This is because millennials do not respond well to traditional education methods such as chalk and talk, where the teachers basically lead students through academic topics. It's like when the teacher enters the class and they sit in front and they talk for hours until the class ends. So which simulation is basically different because it is student-centered. Instructional simulations and game simulations are effective teaching methods because they are usually highly motivating. So the advantages. Students get the opportunity to spontaneously solve problems in the troubled situation that they created. When they are present something, they need to practice, right? So they can improve their speaking skills by time to time. And simulation is an interesting and fun learning technique that leads to an effective learning environment. For students who like to acting or wish to be an actor, they can practice their acting style by joining these activities. Students are helped in a variety of ways through simulated training, such as developing self-confidence among them. This is because they need to stand in front of a lot of people and slowly they will gain their self-confidence. As a result of role-playing, it helps in the development of critical thinking in student teachers. This is because they bring the real situation into the classroom, so they can think critically how to solve the problem or what is the solution. You guys might be really boring, right? If the teacher just talk for hours and you just sit and still. So by simulation like social drama or sort of gaming, you can reduce the seriousness of learning because it is more fun and you can learn it in an easier way. And it also has the advantage of allowing learners to reset the scenario and try alternative strategies and approaches. It is like the simulation game, like aircraft simulator. Sometimes when you don't always win, right? You lose and you can reset or replay it and try another alternative and try to win the game. So the limitation is a good simulation model may be very expensive because simulation often requires a significant amount of computer time and is therefore expensive. It requires the supervision by training personnel which are generally not available or not devoted to their duties. There is no emphasis given on the teaching skills or the content taught. Only the social behavior is considered. For those who have never experienced acting, they might feel really anxious and it is a big no for them. Simulations attempt to portray the real situation in a simple way, which are in general very complex and difficult. This is because like the political or nature, they bring the real situation into the classroom. But in the real life, it is not that easy. They can't control the situation. It is a trial and error method that may produce different solutions in repeated runs. So it is like what I told you, a simulation game. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. So there is no solid results. Simulation generates a way of evaluating solutions, but does not generate solutions themselves. Lastly, in simulation, role-playing is done in atypical situations which are unpsychological and impracticable.
Hello, I am Aisha binti Muhammad Tahir. I will talk about integration. Integration means the combination of simulation and class. It means like how to apply simulation in class. Is there any problem? Okay. This is strategies to implementing simulation in class. Firstly, we should focus on a truly theme. Sample situation or issues could include historical events and perspective. It means like last week, Madam Hanita told us to act based on a poem, right? It's like it's not the acting that we are focused to. It's actually to understand the poem more, right? Yes. Okay. The second one is assign roles randomly. If the groups are formed randomly, they can improve their communication skills, and it will also help the students to work in group and get to know of each other. That's true. The third one is encourage emotional involvement of all participants. Like last week, that Madam Hanita told us to act, right? We encourage our emotion to be in that acting. Like if we involve our emotion, we can understand the poem more, right? Okay. Okay. The fourth one is allow the students to make decisions in the context of the simulation. It means like if we give them, if we allow the students to make the decisions, it will make them their brain working, and they can boost their confidence level. The teacher should not intervene unless it's absolutely necessary. Okay, the last one is use cooperative grouping to stress the importance of social issues. It's just the same like assign rules randomly because it will improve our communication, improve the student communication skills and social skills. Problem-based learning. What is problem-based learning? It is a teaching method that involves real-world problems and opposed to direct presentation of skills, problem-solving abilities, and communication skills. It will provide opportunities for working in groups and like finding and evaluating research material and life learning. Problem-based learning is a learning method in which students identify problems from given scenarios and acquire knowledge techniques. This is how we create PBL exercise. The first one is the problem must motivate students to seek out a deeper understanding of concepts. The second one is the problem should require students to make reasoned decisions to defend them. The third one is the problem should incorporate the content objective in such ways to connect it to previous courses or knowledge. The last one is if we use for a group project, the problem should be complex to ensure that students must work together to solve it. These are the guidelines from the power of problem-based learning. The first one is you should choose central ideas. We should list the learning objectives that the students should meet. Like Madam Hanita told us to add last week, her central idea is to make us understand about the poem more. That's the central ideas. If she don't choose the central ideas, it will be a never-ending task. It's like because it will swirling and swirling like that. The second one is think of real problem and real world context under consideration. It can be done by developing this story and telling and research an actual case that can be adapted. Okay, by developing story and telling, research an actual case that can be adapted, it will give students motivation to solve it. Complex problem will challenge the students to go beyond simple plug and try to solve it. Thanks. Okay, role playing. Role playing is the spontaneous acting out of situations without costumes or scripts. The context for the role playing is presented and rules are selected. Students have a minimal The students have minimal time planning to discuss a situation and then plan a best scenario. At the conclusion, students should discuss how they felt and what they learned about the particular situation. The most important part of role play is the follow-up discussion. Okay, by role playing, it can help students to express themselves verbally, show their creativity, develop appropriate and positive attitudes, understand the feelings of others, become actively involved in learning situation, practice skills and a non-threatening environment. Because role-playing can be an effective strategy for practicing new skills and exploring new ideas in the knowledge of employability classroom. It addresses several of the multiplied intelligences and can be motivating and memorable learning activity. Okay, simulator. Do you guys know what simulators mean? Does anyone know? Yes? Who said yes? Can stand up? Okay, simulator in education means it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll give you an example. It's like, can't you see, this is an aircraft simulator. Just like I said, I don't know if you are focused or not at the time. Aircraft simulator, it allows students to practice of dangerous, well, physical dangers to the operator and students. It means like when they are in that simulator, they can feel like they are on a real plane, but it's not endangering them because it's not a real plane. Here's another example. In health science classroom, have you seen a plastic body models, 3D anatomy models? You can see? That one, yes. It is like, if we use that one, it will not harm any real patient. It feels like we are operating the real person, but it's not really a real person that we can danger it. The third one is a multi 3D scan, I guess. Okay. The other one, for example, of simulation is using a mock-up interview. Do you know a mock-up interview? A mock-up interview is when the students it will stimulate the rating that can do too much to develop desirable behavior and attitudes. In trusting atmosphere, students can practice answering and asking questions, raising and speaking professionally, and using verbal and non-verbal communication skills because the scenario is meaningful but not threatening. Students also better able to accept feedback opportunities. It means like it feels like a real interview, but it's not the real one. Mocked up. That is one of the simulations. That's all for me. Sorry, send a video link at WhatsApp group if you don't understand what simulator is. You guys can watch after we finish discussing about this one.
If you guys still don't understand, have you guys heard of lasagna? Yes! They have like lots of
Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. Oh, I thought the wire is longer. Okay, sorry. Hello. It's me again. Last week it was me too. So, what's up? What's the reason?
Because you are the reason.
Last week was the introduction to TESL and this week is the instructional technology. Okay, so I want you guys to stretch up a little bit. Stretch up a little bit. I know you guys are sleepy. What time is it now? 9:24. So what do you guys want to finish at? 5. 10? We have about 100 and more slides. No, I'm kidding. It's just 80 and something lah. Okay, so okay, so I'm going to talk about program instruction. Is it right? I think it's right. Oh, program instruction. Program instruction is just simple. It's like it's like what my friend were talking about in Suryani. It's about games. It's a game. It's like it's a self-made strategy. It's the teacher made the game and they play it in the class. It's like a quiz, but we use it online. We use computer technologies and everything in the class. So I could give an example, which is like Kahoot. It's likely what our subtopics is connecting with together. Yeah. So you guys can read this. I'm not going to talk a lot about it. Next one. So the advantages of the program instruction, we could attract students' attention since we're using technologies. Am I right? Yeah. Because kids, they were born with technologies, right? My brother, I admit my brother, when he was born, he's completely like, I'm not going to say toddler, he played the phone, no, but he played in early age. Wait a minute. Okay, so the main objective is the students' involvement in the activities.
Any reactions? They can get even more understanding about the topics. Okay, like this. Okay, you guys play the game online in the class, so it will literally live up the mood. Like the students attract to the technology, they spend a lot of time with the phone, mobile phone, right? So they're going to use the technologies more. The other one, you guys can just read it. I'm going to talk about the limitations again. Okay, the limitation is going to be a little bit chaos than a usual education system. Education system has a fixed timetable from the governors by itself, but while this thing, we play it online and there is no fixed time in the timetable, right? Like our lecturer used the online game, like you guys can do it whenever you want, but you don't have to like get at the exact time to just do the game. Is it right? So it's going to be a little bit chaos because they are still kids. They don't know how to use the time correctly. Okay. Again. Can you focus if there is gadget around you in the class? No? Yeah, I can't because I appreciate if someone can do two things in one time, but I can't. I can listen to music while doing my work, like writing something. I can listen to the music, but honestly, if I use Instagram in the class, I can't focus to the teacher talks. Am I right? You guys going to focus, oh, this is the TikTok people. You're going to do, they're like, oh, this is TikTok, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Expose. I did use Instagram in class, okay? You guys did. So, who was it? Ruby? Again, next one, last one. Last one is integration. How we want to combine this thing in the class. How was it? How? Anyhow. You don't know how. We're just going to add the specific time in the timetable, like the ICT. You guys have the subject of ICT in your school, right? Arisa, you shake your head. You don't have ICT? Really? Oh my god. Oh. Why he doesn't have it? I have ICT until Form 5, but my accounting teachers took the time to teach accounts. So they literally use the subject to teach their own subject, right? So it's such a waste thing. So why not we put this special game into the timetable so that the kids can use the technologies and at the same time they learn how the technologies work. That's all from me. Sorry, I'm so nervous tonight. Thank you.
Hi. So it's me. I guess some of you might not know me, right? My name is Nur Shafiqa Shuhada. That's my name. So how's life? How's life?